Yeah. True. Let's do it.
Welcome again to Colburn Park as the Pilots take on Diamond Dawgs from Mohawk Valley. Our umpires for tonight's game are Gary Benton and Connor McKenzie. Jumping straight into it, the Diamond Dawgs starting lineup. Number 24 out of Plainview, New York, a center fielder, John LaRocca. Number 31 out of Pembroke Pines, Florida, a shortstop, Alexis Mon. Number 20 out of Nutley, New Jersey, a first baseman, Ryan Hernandez. Number 13 out of Florham Park, New Jersey, a designated hitter, Ryan Truhurst. Number 2 out of Randolph, New Jersey, third baseman, Jake Barbieri. Number 10 out of Chester, New Jersey, left fielder, Mike Young. Number 22 out of Canahara, New York, catcher, Drew Ferrano. Number 5 out of Briddingsville, Pennsylvania, right fielder, Tyler Bruno. Number 19 out of Goose Creek, South Carolina, second baseman, J.D. Davis. Number 29 out of Lee Center, New York, pitcher, Tyler Shaw. And now, for your very own Newark Pilots. Starting with number 2 out of Georgetown, Texas, center fielder, Parker Tedlock. Number 3 out of Indian Springs, Alabama, a designated hitter, Matt Serfolio. Number 10 out of Fitchburg, New York, a left fielder, Alan Murphy. Number 16 out of Jackson, New Jersey, a catcher, Ty Babin. Number 31 out of Tampa Bay, Florida, a second baseman, Jared DeSantolo. Number 9 out of East Greenbush, New York, a first baseman, Jake Walter. Number 22 out of Southfield, Michigan, shortstop, Xavier Warren. Number 19 out of Reynoldsburg, Ohio, a right fielder, Richard Phillips. Number 1 out of North Haven, Connecticut, third baseman, Giovanni Torres. Number 34 out of Georgetown, Texas, the pitcher, Trent Baker. Please welcome onto the field your Newark Pilots. Your pilots are accompanied by the Girl Scouts of NYPAC. Your Newark Pilots are coached by Matt Clovers, and his assistants are Grant Hyman and Justin Bevan. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we would ask you to please rise for the singing of the national anthem by Renz Vesino.
You see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose first shapes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the rampart we watched, where so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that the flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hello, folks, and thanks for joining us here at Colburn Park. Dan Cooter here on Newark Pilots TV. Is beautiful evening for some baseball, and it's been quite a while since we've seen baseball, as we have to go all the way back to Friday in a 17-4 loss to the Geneva Red Wings at McDonough Park for the last game for these Newark Pilots, but they're home here tonight, taking on the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs. The Pilots trying to get their season on track before it's too late. They're 5-12 on the year as they sit in last place in the West Division. For the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, the defending champions in this Perfect Game League, they're 11-7, sitting a game and a half behind the Watertown Rapids, making their inaugural season here in the Perfect Game League in the Central Division. They lead things at 13-6. It's the right-hander Trent Baker from Georgetown, Texas, plays at Angelo State. He gets the start of the mound for the Pilots. And we're just about set to play baseball here at Colburn Park. It's John LaRocca who will lead things off for the Diamond Dogs here tonight. In the outfield for the Pilots, it'll be Ricky Phillips, Parker Tadlock, and Alan Murphy. At third base is Giovanni Torres. Shortstop is Xavier Warren. At second is Jared DeSansolo. And at first, Jake Walter. We are underway here at Colburn Park as LaRocca takes a swing at that one and fouls it off, as it's Ty Babin doing the catching duties behind home plate for the Pilots here tonight. LaRocca plays it in Monmouth from Plainville, New York. Hits this one into left field. It's a blooper. Phillips with a nice play, and he's able to slide into that one and make the catch for the first out of the inning. LaRocca leads things off tonight for the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, followed by Alexis Monge Rodriguez, who we'll see at the plate now. It's Ryan Hernandez, Ryan Tours, Jake Barbiere, Mike Young, Drew Farino, Tyler Bruno, and at the bottom of the order is J.D. Davis tonight for the Diamond Dogs. An 0-1 count here for Monge Rodriguez after a swing and a miss on the first pitch from Baker. He looks at a ball here at the lower half of the plate, so the count is at 1-1 to Monge now. Monge, who plays at Barry, is from Pembroke Pines, Florida. He chops this one into right. DeSansolo can't get a glove on it, and Monge has himself a base hit here with one gone in the top of the first.
Now up to bat, Nutley, New Jersey, number 20, first baseman, Ryan Hernandez.
Ryan Hernandez, who is having a superb season for the Diamond Dogs to this point, comes to the plate now. Plays at U Albany from Boston, Massachusetts. And Monge is down on first now for the Diamond Dogs with one gone. Big swing of the bat here from Hernandez. Chopped into right. Murphy stumbles a little bit, and now he drops the ball. And the play into second, and he still gets him. And so that was a strange play there as Alan Murphy tripped under his own feet there in right. And so it's an error charge to Murphy, but no harm there as there's Hernandez on first. And Monge was called out at second as, along with everyone here at this ballpark, he thought Alan Murphy was going to come down with that ball. So now with two gone here in the top of the first, Hernandez is on first after the error charged to Alan Murphy. It's Ryan Tours who's at the plate. As he looks at strike one from Trent Baker. Tours plays at Villanova from Florham Park, New Jersey. Also see Tyler Bruno here in the lineup for Mohawk Valley tonight. He also plays for Villanova as well. 0-1 count here for Tours as he looks at ball one. A correction on that, that's ball two. And so it's a 2-1 count to Tours. Baker will check up on Hernandez over at first, as there's a 2-1 count here with 2 gone. Just underway here in the top of the first from Colburn Park between the Pilots and the Diamond Dogs. Big swing and a miss there from Tours, and so the count is even at 2-2. Last time these two teams will link up this year. All the way back in the second game of the year here at Colburn Park between these two teams, the Diamond Dogs came out on top 9-7, as it was an offensive show here at Colburn Park. As Baker's ready to go with the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Baker's first strikeout of the night ends the inning. So the score remains scoreless as we head to the bottom of the first here at Colburn Park. We welcome you back here to Colburn Park. Dan Cooter here on NewarkPilots.tv. The Pilots come up, take their first at-bats here in the bottom of the first. A scoreless top half of the first for the Diamond Dogs. As we get you set to go here for the Diamond Dogs in their outfield, it's Young in left field, LaRocca in center, and Bruno in right field. Hernandez is at first, Davis at second, Monjet shortstop, and Barbieri is at third base. It's Drew Farino who is behind the mound doing the catching duties here tonight. And it's the right-hander Tyler Schaff who's on the mound from Lee Center, New York, plays at Bryant. And a curious case with Schaff is doing the scouting report on Schaff. Only made 1 appearance this past year with Bryant in his freshman year, but he's been lights out for the Diamond Dogs in his first 3 starts. As it's Parker Tadlock leading things off for the Pilots. Schaff hasn't allowed an earned run in 3 starts, has pitched 11 2/3 innings, and has only given up 6 hits. And so he's made good work of his first 3 starts that he's had here for Mohawk Valley this year. As Tadlock looks at strike 1, and it's a 2-1 count. Parker Tadlock from Georgetown, Texas, plays at Angelo State, enjoying a pretty good season here for the Pilots so far. It's been a bright spot, and he hits one to center, and he's got himself a leadoff base hit to start things off here for the Pilots tonight.
Now batting out of Indian Springs, Alabama. Number 3, designated hitter, Matt Serfolio.
Parker Tadlock, we've seen him jump around the order. Batted at the bottom, he's batted at the top. He's really found a home in that leadoff spot, as he has been good at the plate here. And it's Matt Serfolio, the DH for the Pilots tonight. who steps in the second spot. Schaff takes a peek over to Tadlock at first, but Tadlock is back in plenty of time. And so Surfolio will have to wait for his first pitch. Tadlock hitting 400 on the year now, has 45 at-bats, and that's his 19th hit. And so that'll bump up that average even a little more. And he has 4 stolen bases, so he is a threat over there at first. As Surfolio looks at strike 1 from Schaff. It's an 0-1 count here to Matt Surfolio. Surfolio plays at Columbia from Indian Springs, Alabama. We've seen him at third base numerous times here for the Pilots, but as we mentioned, he's the designated hitter here for Newark. For the Pilots tonight, it's Tadlock, who we just saw leading things off, and Matt Surfolio in the second spot. It's Alan Murphy, Ty Babin, Jared DeSantolo, Jake Walter, Xavier Warren, Ricky Phillips. In the bottom of the order is Giovanni Torres. Tadlock is going to go. The throw down to second, and just there in the nick of time is Tadlock, and so he has a stolen base, as Drew Farino could not get the throw down to second in time. Tadlock picks up his 5th stolen base of the year, and that ties him with Justin Graham for the team lead at 5. 2-1 here. Surfolio hits one at the opposite field, and it's caught by Young, and retreating is Tadlock to second. And so with 1 gone, Parker Tadlock remains put on second base, and it's Alan Murphy who comes to the plate.
Alan Murphy!
A hard out there for Matt Surfolio, as Mike Young, the left fielder for the Diamond Dogs, was able to make the play. Alan Murphy, along with Parker Tadlock, has been one of the bright spots here for the Pilots, as he's hitting .333 on the year and has 3 home runs and 14 RBIs for the Pilots. That leads the team by a large margin, as Alex Hernandez second in the team with 9 RBIs. Tadlock is over on second as there's 1 gone. It's an 0-1 count here to Alan Murphy. This one swung by Murphy, and that one catches his foot, as it'll be a foul ball. And Murphy finds himself in an 0-2 hole here to Schaff. For Tyler Schaff, that's only the 7th hit he's given up. In his 4th start on the mound for the Diamond Dogs, he hasn't allowed an extra base hit. And he stays true to that to this point in the game, as Tadlock had himself a single. And we'll see what Alan Murphy can do against the right-hander from Lee Center, New York, as he's behind in the count 0-2. Schaff with the delivery. Swing well high as Drew Farino gets the glove up in front of it. And so the count is at 1-2 to Murphy. Schaff has 7 strikeouts in those 3 games that he started. As we mentioned, a 0.00 ERA. Not bad for 11 2/3 innings. Schaff misses with another one upstairs, and so the count goes to even at 2-2 to Murphy. Murphy trying to jack his 15th RBI of the year, as he's got Parker Tadlock over at second. The 2-2 swung on and missed by Murphy. Alan Murphy disappointed with his swing there. And so he goes down on strikes. And with 2 gone, it's Ty Babin, the catcher, who comes to the plate. Ty Babin plays at Campbell from Jackson, New Jersey. We've seen him in the designated hitter spot a couple times. He was in that slot last Friday in the loss to Geneva. But he's the catcher here tonight for the Pilots, and he's ready to go And this one escapes Farino, and Tadlock will easily stride into third. And so a base hit would drive in Parker Tadlock here and put the Pilots up early 1-0. As a wild pitch there from Tyler Schaff escapes the glove of Drew Farino, as Farino will have a chat with Schaff. As early on in this one at Colburn Park, good to play some baseball once again, as a couple of rain delays for the Pilots. There's one last night against Glens Falls that was canceled. But we're ready to go here with some Thursday night baseball. A off-speed pitch from Schaff doesn't catch the plate. And so it's a 2-0 count here to Ty Babin. 2 gone in the bottom of the first. Parker Tadlock is over at third for Newark. This one swung on and missed by Babin, and so it's strike one. Schaff gets a swing and a miss from the catcher. Babin hitting 200 with 4 hits and 20 at-bats for the Pilots, making his 7th appearance of the year. Babin easily able to hold off on that one high, and so he gets himself into a hitter's count here at 3-1. As he'll try to pay dividends on a couple of missed pitches here from Tyler Schaff. Schaff ready to go with the 3-1. Babin holds off on that one in the dirt, and so it's a 2-out walk awarded. And it'll bring Jared DeSantolo to the plate.
Now batting out of Tampa Bay, Florida, number 31, second baseman, Jared DeSantolo.
Jared DeSantolo from Tampa, Florida, plays at Florida Atlantic, and he'll come to the plate here with a chance to give the Pilots an early lead in this one, as there's 2 gone and runners at the corners here for the Pilots in the bottom half of the first. For Schaff, it's his 7th walk of the year for the Diamond Dogs. And it gives DeSantolo a chance to bring in a couple of runs here, as that one misses outside from Schaff. And so it's ball 1 to the second baseman. DeSantolo hitting 259 on the year. There's the 1-0. This one swung on and fouled away by DeSantolo. And so the count will be 1-1. Tyler Schaff trying to work himself out of the inning here, as he's got runners at the corners. Parker Tadlock was able to lead this one off in the bottom half of the first with a knock to center field. A stolen base and a wild pitch has landed him on third, and a walk to Ty Babin has him on first. Schaff a peek down to Babin at first, and now the delivery. A 1-1 pitch misses in the dirt, and so it's a 2-1 count now to Jared DeSantolo. DeSantolo with 2 RBIs on the year, trying to make it 3 here. This is a 2-1 count. This one swung on down to the first baseman, Hernandez. An easy play to first, and so the Pilots strand 2 here in the bottom half of the first, and we remain scoreless here at Colburn Park. We head to the top of the second here at Colburn Park as we remain scoreless here between the Diamond Dogs and the Pilots. A beautiful Thursday evening as Mother Nature is finally cooperating with us. And we get some great weather for a great night of baseball as it's Trent Baker, the right-hander, on the mound for the Pilots here tonight, and a hit apiece here after one. As the Diamond Dogs stranded one in the top half and the Pilots stranded two in the bottom half.
Number 2, third baseman, Jake Barbiere.
It's Jake Barbiere, the third baseman. There's a tongue twister. As he'll come to the plate to lead things off here in the top half of the second. It's Monge who had to hit in the top half of the first. Baker was able to take care of business. Swinging at the first pitch here is Barbiere, and he'll line this one into center, and Tadlock is underneath it to make the catch for the retired out. So Baker making quick work of Barbiere there to lead things off here in the top half of the second. And it's Mike Young who comes to the plate now. Young from Chester, New Jersey, plays at UMass Lowell, or UMass Lowell, however you would like to pronounce that. Being a hockey fan, UMass Lowell was some great Division I hockey, but some baseball to be played there as well. As it's a 1-0 count here to Young. Baker gets this one to fall in for strike one, and so the count is at 1-1 to Mike Young. Big swing and a miss there from Young, and so he's behind in the count 1-2. Trent Baker, as we mentioned, from Georgetown, Texas, along with Parker Tadlock. They both played Angelo State as well. Baker primarily a fastball pitcher, as throws plenty of heat, as Young is able to fight this one off and keep the count at 1-2. As Baker has posted a 4.69 ERA in 3 games played. He started all 3 of the games we've seen him in, and has pitched 15 1/3 innings. Baker takes some speed off of that one, but can't get it to drop into the strike zone. That's how the count is at even at 2-2 to Young. Young able to foul another one off to stay alive. So the count remains at 2-2. Young hitting .217 on the year. Has 10 hits and 46 at-bats. So he tries to get a board here with 1 gone in the top half of the second. 2-2. Grounded down to the shortstop, Warren. He's able to swing it over to first and scooped out of the dirt by Walter. A nice play by him. And there's 2 gone now.
Now batting, Canahara, New York, number 22, catcher, Drew Ferrano.
And Jake Walter, we've seen Jared DeSantolo and Grady Wright over there at first, but Walter, we've seen have a strong bat and a pair of home runs in back-to-back games last week for the Pilots. He's over there at first, and he makes a great play by scooping that one out of the dirt. Xavier Warren's throw just a little low, but Walter does a good job to get it, and there's 2 gone here. As it's Drew Farino, the catcher, coming to the plate, and he flies this one high in the air, but foul. And so he's behind in the count 0-2. Drew Farino plays right up road here at Lemoyne in Syracuse, New York. Baker can't paint the corner with this one, and so the count goes to 1-2 as Farino watch that one sail in. Farino from Canajoharie, New York. As Baker takes some speed off of that one. And a little shake of the head as he knows he missed with that one. And the count goes to 2-2. As Farino trying to get aboard here with 2 gone now for the Diamond Dogs. Baker trying to make it a 1-2-3 inning. Another off-speeder there by Baker, misses well high as he looks for his command there with the slider. couldn't get that one to fall in as well, and so the count runs full here on Farino. I would assume Baker is going to go to the best pitch he has with the fastball, and here it comes, and it misses low. And so 4 straight balls from Trent Baker, walks Farino here with 2 outs. As you could see, Trent Baker just wasn't very happy with himself there with a couple of pitches he threw, and maybe let that get to him a little bit. As it's a 2-out walk awarded to Drew Farino, and it's Tyler Bruno who comes to the plate now for the Diamond Dogs. This one in the dirt as Ty Babin does a good job to keep it in front of him, and it keeps the runner Farino at first. Tyler Bruno, as we mentioned, plays at Villanova along with teammate Ryan Sewers. He's from Brennicksville, Pennsylvania. For Trent Baker, that's his 9th walk as a Pilot. And has tossed 16 strikeouts, including the one that he had back in the first. Big cut here and a miss from Bruno. So it's a 1-1 count here, with Farino down on first and 2 gone here in a scoreless contest at Colburn Park early on in this one in the top half of the second. This one grounded into right, and it's going to be base hit for Bruno. Farino is going to charge for 3. Here's the throw from Warren, and there's no tag, as Baker was there to scoop that one up as it escaped the third baseman Torres. And Farino is into third, and there's runners at the corners after the base hit from Tyler Bruno.
Now batting out of Goose Creek, South Carolina, number 19, second baseman, J.D. Davis.
I don't think Drew Farino realized that he could get to third, and he kind of held up there, and the third base coach said, "Get over here." And Farino, surprisingly enough, I didn't think he would take off after his momentum was held up there at second, but he slid into third. He's in there safely, so with 2 gone, Diamond Dogs find runners at the corners, and a dreaded 2-out walk coming back to haunt Trent Baker a little bit here as he tries to get himself out of the inning. It's the 2nd hit of the evening for the Diamond Dogs as it's awarded to Tyler Bruno. Bruno's 11th hit of the year. This one grounded from J.D. Davis over to Torres. Easy play to second, and so the Diamond Dogs strand 2 and remain scoreless as we head to the home side of the second here at Colburn Park.
Now batting out of East Greenbush, New York, number 9, first baseman, Jay Walter.
It's the first baseman, Jake Walter, who will lead things off here in the bottom half of the second as we remain scoreless between the Diamond Dogs and the Pilots. The right-hander, Tyler Schaff, will continue on the mound for Mohawk Valley as the Pilots will be right back here at Colburn Park for a home affair against Western Division rival Jamestown Jammers. And the Jammers, they have dominated the league this year as they are 15-4 and have a 7.5 game lead in the Western Division over the Geneva Red Wings, who sit at 8-12. Walter holds off on that one, but it falls in for a strike. And so the count is at 2-1 to Walter. In the other divisions, we see a more tightly compacted race, especially in that East Division, with 3 teams tied for the lead in that division. And then Amsterdam and Oneonta only trailing by half a game. In the Central Division, where the Diamond Dogs play, they find themselves a game and a half back. There's Utica Blue Sox at 4 back, and the Adirondack Trailblazers 6.5. Big cut here from Walter, and it's a strikeout for Schaff to lead things off here in the bottom half of the second. Schaff's second K as he makes his first trip through the lineup, and it's the shortstop Xavier Warren coming to the plate. Warren from Southfield, Michigan, plays at Central Michigan. As he's at shortstop tonight for Newark. And he looks at strike one there from Schaff. Off speeder by Warren, grounded down to the second baseman. A tough hopper, but able to make the play as Hernandez stretches it out. And there's quickly 2 retired here, as Ricky Phillips will try to make some 2-out magic happen here for the Pilots. As he comes to the plate, the left fielder from Reynoldsburg, Ohio. Plays at Notre Dame College, and he strides in now for the Pilots. Off speeder there by Schaff. Can't get it to fall across the plate, and so Phillips looks at ball 1 there. Connor McKenzie is your home plate umpire. And Gary Benton is out in the field tonight. Same crew we see at a majority of the games here at Colburn Park. It's a 1-1 count to Phillips. Off speeder, hit the left, and he's got himself a 2-out base hit. There's good contact on that one from Ricky Phillips, and he picks up the base hit and brings Giovanni Torres to the plate.
Number 1, third baseman, Giovanni Torres.
From here, you could see lined up perfect with that one, and Ricky Phillips read it all the way as the off-speeder fell right where he wanted it, and he drove it into left as he got around on that one right between the third baseman and the shortstop, and he picks him up a single. For Phillips, it's his 5th hit of the year, as he was hitting 154 coming into the game, making his 10th appearance of the year for the Pilots. The third baseman, Giovanni Torres, he's at the bottom of the order tonight for the Pilots, as Schaff checks up on Phillips over at first. Torres, who plays at Bates College, is from North Haven, Connecticut. And that's an 0-1 count to him with 2 gone here in the bottom half of the second. Schaff's able to paint the corner with that one, and quickly behind is Torres, 0-2. It'll be the top of the order from Mohawk Valley when we head to the top of the third. Schaff takes a peek over to Phillips at first again, but Phillips back in plenty of time. Ricky Phillips, no stolen bases for him on the year. So we'll see how far he gets off of that first base. The 0-2 to Torres. Schaff misses with it high as Torres was laying off of that one the whole way. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Torres. Here's the 1-2 from Schaff. Swung on and missed by Torres. Third K of the evening for Schaff. And the score remains scoreless here at Colburn Park. We head to the top of the third when we come back. Dan Cooter here on Newark Pilots TV. We welcome you back to Colburn Park. It's Trent Baker who will make his second adventure through the Diamond Dawgs order, as John LaRocca will lead things off here in the top half of the third. LaRocca 0 for 1 on the evening, as he lays down the bunt here. Babin makes the play over to first. It's a high throw, but Walter is able to get his foot down on the bag. And just like that, there's one gone here in the top of the third. That bunt by LaRocca barely made it off a home plate. And I'm sure Babin was questioning if it was actually going to be called foul or not. But the smart play by Babin to pick it up and throw it down to first anyway. And it turns out to be a fair ball. And it becomes out number 1 here in the top of the third. The sun obviously becoming a factor here for our camera as usual, as we play on here at Colburn Park. Still scoreless here between the Diamond Dawgs and the Pilots. 2 hits apiece in this one. An error that was charged to Alan Murphy back in the first inning ended up being harmless. And it's Alexis Monge who comes to the plate. He has one of those 2 hits tonight, as he's 1 for 1, had a single back at the top of the first. For Tyler Schaff as well, he'll see his second time around the order, as it'll be Parker Tadlock leading things off for the Pilots when we head to the bottom of the third. Baker tosses in a fastball, and he gets this one to fall just on that outside part of the plate. And so it's a 3-1 count now to Monge. Monge from Pembroke Pines, Florida, along with catcher Alex Hernandez, who we're not seeing here tonight. As this one misses high for ball 4, and it's a 1-out walk as Monge is on base for the second time this evening.
Out of Nutley, New Jersey, number 20, first baseman, Ryan Hernandez.
Second walk of the evening for Trent Baker, and it brings Ryan Hernandez, the big man from University of Albany, back to the plate. And as we briefly touched on in his first plate appearance, he's having a strong year. So he leads the perfect game in batting average in terms of games played. Runners going, and he's easily in there to second as Babin bobbled the exchange from Baker. And Monge gets himself into scoring position with 1 gone here in the top half of the third. Hernandez, we briefly mentioned, 72 at-bats for him, has 32 hits, 21 RBI, second on the team to Ryan Tours, who has 25, and 4 home runs for him as well. So Hernandez obviously a threat at the plate, and Trent Baker fully aware of that. He tries to pitch him with delicacy here, as it's a 1-1 count. Baker ready to go with the 1-1 here to Hernandez. Big swing and a miss from Ryan Hernandez, and he's behind in the count 1-2. As Baker looks to retire the second out of the inning, with Alexis Monge Rodriguez over at second for the Diamond Dogs. Off speeder, fought off by Hernandez, and so he keeps the count at 1-2. Hernandez 0 for 1 on the evening. Tries to change his fortune as he's ready for the 1-2 from Baker. This one swung on by Hernandez, chopped to the second baseman, DeSantolo. He goes over to first, and so Monge advances to third, but there's 2 gone now in the top half of the third.
Number 13, designated hitter, Ryan Tours.
As we just mentioned, Ryan Tours comes to the plate now, and he has 25 RBIs on the year. That leads the Diamond Dogs. And he has also hit 4-yard here. And has 22 hits and 67 at-bats, averaging out for a .328 batting average. Tours, who plays at Villanova, enjoying a strong year at the plate here for Mohawk Valley in the Perfect Game League. It's a 1-0 count as Tours takes a swing at one of the dirt. So the count is at even at 1-1. Still scoreless here at Colburn Park between the Diamond Dogs and the Pilots as there's 2 gone. Diamond Dogs threatening to take the lead in this one as Alexis Monge is over at third. After the fielder's choice, Tours sends one into center, tracking it is Tadlock, and he can't make the diving catch. It's going to bring in a run. And Tours will hold up at second, and it's Ryan Tours' 26th RBI of the season, and it gives Mohawk Valley a 1-0 lead here in the top half of the third. It's an RBI double for Ryan Tours. His 8th double of the year. And it puts the Diamond Dogs up 1-0. And with 2 gone, it's Jake Barbiere who comes to the plate as the Diamond Dogs trying to add another run to that lead that they have now established here. Baker misses with this one in the dirt. And so it's 2 balls to Barbiere to start him off here in Barbiere's second plate appearance of the evening. He's 0 for 1. He's hitting .209 on the year. There's 9 hits and 43 at-bats for Mohawk Valley. Baker ready to go with the 2-0. Gets that one to fall in the inside corner. So 2 balls and 1 strike now to Barbiere. For Ryan Tours, we've seen him pick up Player of the Night honors here in the Perfect Game League, and he showed right there the strong bat that he has. This one chopped down the third baseline, but fouled by Barbiere. And it moves the count to even at 2-2 as Baker looks to limit the damage and get out of the inning as Ryan Tours brings in a run. With 2 gone here in the top of the third, he picks up his 26th RBI of the year. And it gives the Diamond Dogs a 1-0 lead. Baker ready to go with the 2-2 here to Barbiere. That one well inside and high, and Barbiere jumped out of the way of that one as that was head high. And it runs the count full as Connor McKenzie said it did not hit Barbiere. Very close to hitting him. That one would have hurt. But it's a full count now for Baker. Here's the payoff. Barbieri chops it down the third baseline, but it's going to be foul. And so we'll do it all over again. For Trent Baker, he seems to be the ace on this staff, as Colbert had his choice of going to anyone after the almost week break. But he elects to go with Trent Baker here on this Thursday evening. And behind him, we've seen Ronald Loomis kind of stand out as that second man, the second fiddle to Trent Baker here in this pitching staff. And what we've noticed here from this pitching staff is the bullpen has just let down the Pilots here with plenty of leads they've had in this, at this park especially. As this one's sent into right by Barbieri, up in the air. Underneath it is Murphy, and he's able to make the catch. The Diamond Dogs strand one, but they're on the board with Ryan Tours, 26th RBI of the year. They lead 1-0. We head to the bottom half of the third here at Colburn Park.
Now batting out of Georgetown, Texas, number 2, center fielder, Parker Tadlock.
Pilots head to the top of the order as we kick things off here in the bottom half of the third. They trail 1-0 as the Diamond Dogs were able to tack on the first run of the game in the top half of the third. It was Alexis Mons Rodriguez who came across to score. And it's Tyler Schaff, the right-hander, back on the mound for the Diamond Dogs, as he's given up 2 hits in this one, as Mohawk Valley has 3 hits of their own, and they lead 1-0. Tadlock, he led off the game with a single and had a stolen base as well. He was stranded as he looks at one of the dirt here from Schaff. And so it's a 1-1 count to Tadlock. And as we mentioned, Tadlock, he's been a bright spot on this Pilots roster as he's really emerged as that solid leadoff choice for Matt Colbert, as he's upped his average with every game. He has 19 hits now. He hits this one into right and right at the second baseman, J.D. Davis. And so there's one gone here as the leadoff man is retired in the bottom half of the third. And for Tadlock, he's gotten his RBIs up to 8, excuse me. And has tacked on 19 hits, as we mentioned, has come across to score 10 times. That's second on the team. And so a strong season for Parker Tadlock, but it's Matt Cerfolio, the DH, who comes to the plate now. And he also has been strong at the plate as he's batting .370 and has 10 hits and 27 RBIs. A breaking ball from Shaw finds the strike zone as Cerfolio looks at it. And it's strike one to the DH tonight for the Pilots. Cerfolio 0 for 1 on the night. Chops one down the first baseline, but foul, and so he's quickly behind 0-2. Tyler Schaff, he's been efficient on the mound, and as we mentioned, he's been strong for the Diamond Dogs in his first 3 starts of the year. He hasn't allowed a run, and he's stayed true to that to this point in the game, as the Pilots have been held off the scoreboard here as we play on in the bottom half of the third. The 0-2 here from Schaff. Misses with that one as Cerfolio was able to lay off of it. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Matt Cerfolio from Indian Springs, Alabama, plays at Columbia. He tries to get board here with 1 gone. One-two misses outside as another off-speed pitch from Schaff, but couldn't get that one to come back around. And the count goes even at 2-2 now to Cerfolio. Cerfolio has batted in 4 runs this year and has been walked 4 times, has struck out 5. Here's the 2-2 from Schaff. In the dirt as Cerfolio is able to lay off of it. And the count goes full now. There's the payoff pitch now from Schaff. Swung on by Cerfolio, but fouled off, and so we'll do it all over again. There's one thing for the Pilots that we have seen. Their bats have come alive in terms of going out of the park. Up until the Alan Murphy shot that we saw, the Pilots had not gained a home run. But Murphy now has 3, Babin has 1, and Walter has 2. And so the Pilots stand with 6 home runs on the year. As Cerfolio fouls off another payoff pitch from Schaff to stay alive once again. Pilots, as we mentioned, they stand at 5-12. And trying to get themselves back in the Western Division race. Cerfolio, that one into left, and it'll fall for a base hit. And that was a heck of an at-bat for Matt Cerfolio as he worked the count back full. Fouled off a pair of pitches and then sent one into opposite field. As a tough play for the shortstop, Monge, as he could not turn his head as he was looking back at that one, and it falls in there for a 1-out base hit for Matt Cerfolio, and it brings Alan Murphy to the plate as he struck out his first time up. Schaff can't get the breaking ball to fall on the inside part of the plate, and so Murphy looks at ball 1. Pilots have already stranded 3 runners in this one, and so they would love to try and bring in that run. Murphy sent one deep into center field, tracking it back at the wall, and it'll bounce off. Stumbling to get it is the center fielder, LaRocca, and into third. Alan Murphy is going to try and come home now, and he's going to slide in, and he is home, and just like that, the Pilots lead 2-0. And it's deja vu for Alan Murphy, as it's another inside the park home run for him. That's an inside the park home run. You know, did that the other night. That's an inside the park home run, but it is deja vu because we saw it was a triple, and the error leads to another run to come home across and score, and so Alan Murphy gets another RBI under his belt, and the Pilots just like that take a 2-1 lead. And you could hear that one come off the bat. It sounded hard, and it was moving fast into center field. And LaRocca was tracking it and quickly realized he was not going to be able to have a play on that one. And it made it all the way to the center field wall. And then an errant throw into third allowed Alan Murphy to come home and score. And so it's ruled as a triple. And he comes in to make it a 2-1 game for the Pilots now. Babin smacks one into left, and that'll fall for a base hit. And so Tyler Schaff, who came into this game not giving up an earned run or an extra base hit, gives up one earned run there, and then another run for the Pilots, and they've jacked up 5 hits here in the bottom half of the third now. As a mound visit for Schaff here after the base hit for Ty Babin reset you here at Colburn Park, as it was the Diamond Dogs who just took the lead in the top half of the third. They were up 1-0 coming here into the bottom half of the third until Alan Murphy just sent a shot into center that brought home a run. It was Matt Serfolio who came across to score, and then an errant throw into third allowed Alan Murphy to come home as well. Jared DeSantolo, he's 0 for 1, will come to the plate now. And for Alan Murphy, it just seems every game he comes up with these clutch hits that brings in runners. And he has 15 RBIs on the year now. That leads the team by a far margin. And he's just been that one hitter for the Pilots that has just gotten them the runs they need. And he does it once again, and it gives Newark a 2-1 lead. DeSantolo holds off on the off-speeder that falls in the strike zone, and he's quickly behind in the count 0-2. As there's one gone here in the bottom half of the third. Ty Babin is aboard after he just smacked in a base hit into left. DeSantolo is able to hold off on a fastball as it missed high and outside. And so it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to the second baseman now. As DeSantolo hitting .259 on the year. Schaff takes a peek over to first base at Babin. As DeSantolo has 7 hits and 27 at-bats for the Pilots. Another breaking ball from Schaff doesn't fall in the strike zone, and so the count is at even 2-2 now to DeSantolo. Here's the 2-2 now from Schaff. DeSantolo holds off a third straight ball, and he runs the count full. And it all started with a similar at-bat when Matt Serfolio ran the count full. He was able to foul off a couple of pitches, get himself aboard, and then Alan Murphy brought him around to score. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on by DeSantolo, and that one goes foul. And so we'll do it all over again as Ty Babin is down on first still. With 1 gone here in the bottom half of the third, Pilots have gotten 2 to take a 2-1 lead over the Diamond Dogs. And a beautiful Thursday night at Colburn Park. A great night for some baseball. Another payoff pitch here from Schaff now. Swung on by DeSantolo into center. LaRocca's tracking it, though, and he is underneath it to make the play. Babin will retreat to first, and there's 2 gone now here in the bottom half of the third. And it's Jake Walter coming to the plate.
Number 9, first baseman, Jake Walter.
Jake Walter struck out his first time up. He'll try to change his fortune as he comes to the plate for his second at-bat with 2 gone. He still has Babin over at first. Walter, in the last game the Pilots were able to get in, he hit a home run into right. That was an absolute bomb. As he has 2 of those on the year, is batting .412. As he makes his 6th appearance of the year, has 17 at-bats and 7 hits. So he's been a strong presence at the plate. Has 6 RBIs for the Pilots as well. A 1-1 count to Jake Walter. And it's Tyler Schaff with the delivery. Walter holds off on that one inside, as he did not go around on that one. And it's a 2-1 count now. Breaking ball misses there from Schaff, and so it's a hitter's count for Walter at 3-1. And with 2 gone here in the bottom half of the third, Walter trying to do some more damage as he's got Ty Babbitt on first. Runners going, swung on by Walter. The throw down to second. And Babbitt is in there. And so it's a full count to Walter after the swing and miss. And so with 2 gone, Babbitt's in scoring position. And Schaff is ready to go with the payoff pitch, trying to limit the damage now. Here in this inning is he's seen the Pilots get 2 on the board and take a 2-1 lead. Into the windup now in the pitch. In the dirt, Babin will get down to third after the wild pitch. And there's runners at the corners and a walk for Walter.
Now batting out of Southfield, Michigan, number 22, shortstop, Warren.
Tyler Schaff has been a little all over the place here in this inning. The Pilots have started to figure him out a little bit, and it's Xavier Warren who comes to the plate now. He's 0 for 1 on the evening. Warren hitting .283 on the year, has 15 hits and 53 at-bats. He makes his team leading 17th appearance of the year. So he's been a steady force for the Pilots down there at shortstop. Schaff misses with the first pitch in the dirt. So it's a 1-0 count to Warren. Warren has 8 RBIs on the year. He's got Ty Babbitt down at third. It's the 1-0 Schaff. Another one in the dirt, making this catcher Reno work behind the plate there. Reno is able to keep that one in front of him. Keeps the runners at bay. We'll see if they try to send Walter down to second. And get him into a throw. Try to get Babbitt home. Drew Farino, the catcher, plays at Lemoyne. There's the pitch now from Shaw. That one misses again. And so it's a 3-0 count to Warren. As Shaw seems to have lost a little bit of control of his command here in the bottom half of the third. 2 gone, runners at the corners, the 3-0. Held off all the way by Warren as it falls in for strike 1. It's a 3-1 count now to Xavier Warren. Schaff ready with the delivery. Misses with that one inside. It's going to walk the bases loaded. And so with 2 gone, Schaff still not out of the inning as it's Ricky Phillips, 1 for 1 on the day, coming to the plate.
Number 19, right fielder, Rick Phillips.
It's the 3rd walk of the evening now for Tyler Schaff, and back-to-back walks for him as well. And with the bases loaded, Ricky Phillips with a great chance to extend the Pilots' lead as it's at 2-1 right now. McKenzie not giving the benefit of the doubt to Schaff on those outside corner pitches, and Farino will make a mound visit to talk things over. As I think we've seen Schaff try to work that outside part of the plate, and a lot of those pitches are exactly where we saw that last one. And we haven't seen any of them fall for strikes, and so Schaff will maybe have to change his course of action here as it's a 1-0 count to Phillips. With 2 gone, the bases are loaded now for the Pilots. Trying to open this game up. Here's the 1-0. Swung on by Phillips, down to the second baseman. And the play over to first to Hernandez, and the side is retired. Bases loaded for the Pilots, and they leave them all stranded. But they lead 2-1 as we head to the top of the 4th here at Colburn Park. Cooter, as we welcome you back here to Colburn Park, a 2-run bottom of the third inning by the Pilots gives them a 2-1 lead. We head to the top of the fourth now. It's Mike Young, the left fielder, leading things off as he shows bunt on that one, but no contact from him. And so it's strike one to the Chester, New Jersey native. Young 0 for 1 in the evening as the right-hander and hard-throwing Trent Baker back on the mound for his 4th inning of work for the Pilots, as he's given up 3 hits in 1 earned run and has a 2-1 lead now after Alan Murphy smacked one into center and brought Matt Zerfolio around to score. And an error allowed him to score as well and gave the Pilots a 2-1 lead. Mike Young, who plays at UMass Lowell, batting .217 on the year and a swing and a miss, and it's a leadoff strikeout for Trent Baker here in the top of the fourth.
Batting out of Kenneth O'Hara, New York, number 22, catcher Drew Ferreno.
Baker's second K of the evening brings the catcher Drew Ferreno back to the plate, as Ferreno was able to reach on a walk from Baker. His first time up, he takes a swing and fouls this one right into the catcher, Ty Babin, for strike one. And after the long rest for Baker, he tries to make quick work here in the top of the fourth as he strikes out the leadoff man, and it's a 1-1 count to Ferreno now. This one well in the dirt as it didn't get to the plate from Baker, and so the count goes to 2-1. Ferreno batting .238 on the year. Has 21 at-bats and 5 hits to his name. He's come across to score 6 times for the Diamond Dogs. This one swung on and fouled again right into the catcher by Ferreno. So the count goes to 2-2. Ty Babin gingerly makes his way out to the mound to hand Baker the ball and talk about what pitch they want to throw down here to try and retire the second out of the inning as we play on here in the top of the fourth between the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs and the Newark Pilots. It's a 2-1 lead for the Pilots after they just got 2 in the bottom half of the third. As we mentioned, Pilots back home again here tomorrow night in a 7:05 first pitch against the Western Division leading Jamestown Jammers, who sit at 15-4 on the year. And they came in here and defeated the Pilots in their first trip to Colburn Park earlier in the year. Ferreno is able to foul off another one and stay alive, and the count will remain at 2-2 as there's one gone here in the top of the fourth. Or 2-2 here. This one misses in the dirt as Ferreno is able to lay off of it, and so it runs the count full. And the one thing that hurt Baker in the last inning was a 2-out walk that allowed the Diamond Dogs to get a run after the RBI from Ryan Tours. And a 1-out walk is no better. And Trent Baker will try to avoid that, as he's tossed out 2 walks to his name here so far this evening. Baker ready to go with the payoff pitch. Swung down to the shortstop, Warren. Warren, a tough play for him over to first, and he's able to make it. Good play by Xavier Warren. And there's 2 gone now here in the top of the fourth.
Now batting out of Brennigsville, Pennsylvania, number 5, right fielder, Tyler Bruno.
That ball from Drew Ferreno was starting to slow down, it looked like. And the third baseman, Giovanni Torres, looked like he almost had a play on it, but Warren, obviously an easier play for him, and he's able to make it over to Walter at first. And with 2 gone, it's Tyler Bruno who comes back to the plate, and he is 1 for 1 on the evening. Baker throws some heat in there high, though, and Bruno is able to lay off of it. And the count goes to 2-0 on Tyler Bruno. Bruno from Brennicksville, Pennsylvania. Hitting .217 coming into the game tonight. Picked up his 11th hit of the year. And has 9 RBIs for the Diamond Dogs. Bruno looks at strike one there, and so the count goes to 3-1 on Bruno as Baker is able to toss one in. Something interesting you see with the Diamond Dogs, they've doubled the home run count that the Pilots have. As Baker misses with that one outside, and it's ball 4. And just like that, it's another 2-out walk for Baker. We saw the same thing last inning. As we mentioned, for the Diamond Dogs, they've hit 12 home runs this year, and the Pilots have only hit 6. And it goes to show you the power behind the bats for the Diamond Dogs. As it's J.D. Davis at the bottom of the order now for Mohawk Valley. So Tyler Bruno reaches for the second time this evening. And he is aboard with 2 gone here in the top of the 4th. Baker throws in strike 1 to J.D. Davis. Davis from Goose Creek, South Carolina, plays at the Citadel. Making his 11th appearance of the year for the Diamond Dogs. Has 4 hits in 29 at-bats for a 138 batting average. And has 3 RBIs on the year. And for him, a problem that has occurred with him is strikeouts, as he has 15 of them. Second on the team, only to Ryan Tours. A 1-1 count here to Davis now. As Baker delivers. Able to paint the corner on the inside. So he's got Davis behind in the count 1-2 as he looks for the final out here. In the top of the 4th, it's a 2-1 ball game. The Newark Pilots leading the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs here at Colburn Park. Baker ready to go with the 1-2. Off speeder. And I don't think Davis was expecting that one, but he's able to fight it off back into the crowd. And so the count remains at 1-2. That's son about an inning away from setting, and that camera, well, that camera shot will get a lot better for you. As Baker's ready to go with another 1-2. Swung on down the third baseline, but foul from Davis. And so we'll do it all over again. As Pilots with 5 hits in this one. And the Diamond Dogs with 3. An error apiece for both sides as well. Bruno still down on first after the 2-out walk. Baker's ready to go with another 1-2 offering here to J.D. Davis. And Davis fouls it off once again. Obviously, what J.D. Davis would love to do is just keep fouling off those pitches that he doesn't like and wait for one to fall on him. As he stayed alive here on 3 consecutive foul balls. Diamond Dogs have stranded 3 to this point in the game as they trail 2-1. Another 1-2 offering. And he gets him looking. And so Baker retires the side, and the score remains 2-1 as we enter the bottom of the 4th here at Colburn Park. It's a 2-1 lead for the Newark Pilots as we welcome you back to Colburn Park. I'm Dan Cooter here on Newark Pilots TV. It's the third baseman, Giovanni Torres, who will lead things off here in the bottom of the fourth before the Pilots turn the order back over for the third time in this contest. Tyler Schaaf continues on the mound after a struggle of an inning for him in the bottom of the third, in which he was able to sneak out of the inning as the bases were loaded after a pair of walks. And Ricky Phillips, he got him to ground out. Torres chops one into center. A tough play here, but able to make it is J.D. Davis, the second baseman, as he's able to track that one. And the leadoff man is retired here in the bottom of the fourth.
Now batting out of Georgetown, Texas, number 2, center fielder, Parker Tadlock.
The leadoff man, Parker Tadlock, comes back to the plate now. He's 1 for 2, was able to reach on his first plate appearance. That's a stolen base to his name as well. Tadlock, who only hit 133 in his freshman year at Angelo State, has been a 400 hitter here for the Pilots this year. Schaaf misses with this one in the dirt as Tadlock is able to hold off of it, and so it's a 2-0 count for Parker Tadlock with one gone. Georgetown, Texas native trying to get on base here as his team leads 2-1 in this one. And Schaaf, once again, you're seeing that outside pitch. Connor McKenzie is just not giving it to him. As from our vantage point, it looks like it's fallen on that outside corner, but to McKenzie, it's not. And so it's a 3-0 count for Tadlock. And that one on the inside part of the plate gets called for a strike. And so it's a 3-1 count now to Parker Tadlock. And with one gone here in the bottom half of the fourth. Schaaf ready to go with the pitch. Swung on by Tadlock. Up to Monge. A tough play for him over to first, but he's able to make it to retire the second out of the inning. There's Alexis Monge Rodriguez from Pembroke Pines, Florida. The shortstop tonight for the Diamond Dogs, able to make the play.
Number 3, designated hitter, Matt Serfolio.
Monge Rodriguez, only his second game of the year, but he was 3 for 4 in his debut and had an RBI and a double in that game. And so he draws back into the lineup tonight for the Diamond Dogs. And with 2 gone, it's the DH, Matt Serfolio, who comes back to the plate. Serfolio, 1 for 2 as he had a hit and came around to score on the Alan Murphy triple his last time up. It's a 1-0 count as Schaaf is ready to go with the delivery here to Serfolio. That one catches the outside corner. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to the Indian Springs, Alabama native, Matt Serfolio. He's ready to go with the 1-1. Swung on by Serfolio. Down to Hernandez. He snags it. The play over to the pitcher, Schaaf, and he touches the bag for the final out. A good play by the first baseman, Ryan Hernandez, to retire the side. And we head to the top of the fifth. Still 2-1 here at Colburn Park. The Pilots leading the Diamond Dogs. Trent Baker will continue on the mound as we welcome you back to Colburn Park here in the top of the fifth. His Pilots lead 2-1, and he'll make his third trip through the Diamond Dogs order as it's Nick LaRocca leading us off here in the top of the fifth. LaRocca 0 for 2, tried to lay a bunt down his last time up, but a good play by the catcher, Ty Babbitt, to make the throw over to first as he was retired in his 0 for 2 on the evening. Trent Baker, a strong outing on the mound as he's pitched 4 innings to this point, has given up 3 hits and 1 earned run. As LaRocca sends this one into right, and it's the 4th hit of the night for the Diamond Dogs as the leadoff man is aboard with the single.
Now batting out of Pembroke Pines, Florida, number 31, shortstop, Alexis Mond.
So the player we just mentioned in the last inning, Alexis Mond Rodriguez, comes back to the plate. Plays at Barry, and as we mentioned, 3 for 4 in his debut with the Diamond Dogs this year. He's 1 for 1 in the evening, was walked his last time up, and came around to score the only run for the Diamond Dogs to this point in the game. Baker is able to get ahead of the count as he tosses in strike 1, and it's an 0-1 count to Monge. For Nick LaRocca, it's his 6th hit of the year, and this one's up the center. Tough play for Warren. Goes to second, and he gets him, but they can't turn 2. But a strong play there by the shortstop, Xavier Warren. He's able to turn the play over to Jared DeSantolo at second and get the first out of the inning.
Now batting out of Nutley, New Jersey, number 20, first baseman, Ryan Hernandez.
Ryan Hernandez, the big man from University of Albany, who is 0 for 2, and batting .444 coming in tonight, has 32 hits. This one hit high into center field. Tracking it is Parker Tadlock, and he's able to make the catch for the second out as LaRocca will have to track back to first. Hernandez, he started 46 of 47 games for Albany this past year and hit .289 with 14 doubles and 2 home runs and 12 RBIs. A strong outing for him so far this year for Mohawk Valley. That sun just about to set over those clouds here in the 5th inning. With 2 gone, LaRocca was able to get that leadoff single. Mohawk Valley trying not to squander the opportunity to tie this game. They're down 2-1. And it's Ryan Sewers who brought that run around to score his 26th RBI of the year. And the throw over to first, not in time, as LaRocca slides back into first. The 1-0. Chopped foul by Tours, and so the count is at 1-1. It was a check swing there by Ryan Tours as he was hesitant to go around on it. It looked like that one caught the end of his bat and went right into the shin guard of Ty Babbitt. And so it's a 1-1 count with 2 gone now for Ryan Tours. Runners going. The throw from Babbitt. Low. Warren able to make the tag, and he gets him. What a play by Xavier Warren to scoop that one on the throw by Ty Babbitt, and that'll do it for the top of the 5th. It's a 2-1 Pilots lead, and they come back up the bat next here on Newark Pilots TV.
Which pilot is leading the team in stolen bases? Also, Connor and Jose report to the customer service for the Kangaroo Potato Sack Race.
Pitcher. Yeah.
Alex. Alex who? MACKINNON. Yeah. Opinion? Now pitching for the Diamond Dogs, number 14, Alex McKinnon. Now batting out of Fitchburg, New York, number 10, left fielder, Alan Murphy.
Dan Cooter here on Newark Pilots TV as we welcome you back into Colburn Park. It's a 2-1 Pilots lead as we head to the bottom half of the fifth. It's Alan Murphy who will lead things off. And a new pitcher on the mound for the Diamond Dogs as Tyler Schaaf's day is done after 4 innings of work as he gave up 1 earned run. And Alan Murphy on the error was able to come home and score to give the Pilots a 2-1 lead. He picked up an RBI and got in there with a triple, but an errored throw allowed him to come home. And although it doesn't go on the board as an inside the park home run, it's the second time we've seen him come around to score on one at bat after a similar play happened just last week to him. So the right-hander Alex McKinnon, who plays at Niagara from north of the border in Aurora, Ontario, is on the mound now for the Diamond Dogs. And McKinnon had a 9.28 ERA and had 1 win and 5 losses in 17 appearances with the Purple Eagles this past year. Pitched 21 1/3 inning and gave up 26 hits. Starts Murphy off with 3 straight balls. So Murphy had an account 3-0 as McKinnon looks to throw in his first strike. That one misses well inside and in the dirt. And the free pass for Alan Murphy to lead things off here in the bottom half of the fifth as McKinnon tries to find his footing here on the mound.
Number 16, catcher, Ty Babbitt.
As he was not able to throw a strike to Murphy there in the first 4 pitches. Ty Babin, he had a single his last time up, is 1 for 1 on the evening as he reached on a walk his first time up. McKinnon gave up 22 earned runs for Niagara this past year and walked 15 batters and then 19 strikeouts. It's a 1-0 count to Babin. And McKinnon is able to toss in his first strike after the leadoff walk was rewarded to Alan Murphy. That's a 1-1 count now to Ty Babin. Babin from Jackson, New Jersey, plays at Campbell. Hits this one opposite field, but foul. Well foul down the third baseline. Babin behind in the count now, 1-2. McKinnon making his 6th appearance of the year now for the Diamond Dogs as he's pitched 10 2/3 innings with Mohawk Valley. He's given up 6 earned runs on 14 hits. McKinnon checks over on Hernandez at first. And so we'll do it over again with the 1-2. Still none gone here in the bottom half of the fifth. McKinnon misses with this one outside, and so the count goes even. As McKinnon, that was his 8th walk of the year here with Mohawk Valley. So he's given up 6 earned runs and has a 5.06 ERA. He's ready to go with the 2-2 here to Babin. Babin swings at this one and fouls it off right into the glove of Farino. And so he's retired, and there's one gone now here in the bottom of the 5th, and Alan Murphy stays put over at first.
Now batting out of Tampa Bay, Florida, number 31, second baseman, the one and only Jared DeSantolo.
Jared DeSantolo tries to change his fortune at the plate here tonight as he is 0 for 2. So he gets his first look at Alex McKinnon. It's the 3rd time through the order for the Pilots here tonight, as they have 5 hits here at Colburn Park. Diamond Dogs with 4 an error apiece. And Newark leads 2-1. As we're just past the halfway point of this game. McKinnon misses with this one high as Farino is able to snare his glove at it. So it's ball 1 to DeSantolo. The Tampa, Florida native plays at Florida Atlantic. Gets a taste of some cooler weather here in upstate New York. The 1-0 runner's going. Swung on by DeSantolo. Cranked into right, and it'll fall. Back at the wall to get it is Bruno. Murphy into third, and he will hold up. As he was into second and was unsure what was happening there in right field. And so he holds up at third, and there's runners on second and third after the double by Jared DeSantolo. Farino will go out to the mound to have a chat with Alex McKinnon, as he's in a little bit of trouble here with 1 gone in the bottom of the 5th. Pilots trying to tack on a couple more runs as they already lead in this one 2-1. It's the 6th hit of the evening now for the Pilots, as Jared DeSantolo, good wood on that one as he turned around and hit it into right field. Tyler Bruno with the good relay throw. It keeps Alan Murphy at third, and so runners at second and third now for Newark. And it's Walter who comes to the plate, the first baseman tonight for the Pilots, trying to bring in the run from third. Walter already has 6 RBIs and 17 at-bats this year. He tries to add on to that. Breaking ball from McKinnon, can't catch the inside part of the plate, so it's ball 1 to Walter. A 1-0 count to Walter as McKinnon is ready to go now on the mound. Swung on, and that one was high, and Walter knew he shouldn't be swinging at that one. And the count goes to 1-1 as the sun sets here at Colburn Park in the bottom of the 5th. And we regain our vision here, and so does our camera, as we play on with 1 gone. And a 1-1 count. Swung on and missed again by Walter, and he's quickly behind 1-2. Alex McKinnon looks for a big out here. It would be the 2nd of the inning, and it would be his 2nd straight strikeout. McKinnon into the windup with the 1-2. Walter swings at this one and fouls it up. Hernandez takes a peek at it down at first, but well foul and out of play. And so we'll do it over again at 1-2. Ready to go again with another 1-2 is McKinnon. This one's high and at the head of Walter as he ducks out of the way. And so the count goes to 2-2. We'll see if Trent Baker returns for his 6th inning of work, as he's been strong on the mound, giving up 4 hits and 1 earned run to this point. as he's in line for the win as of now. They're in the bottom of the 5th. McKinnon ready to go with the 2-2. It's a breaking ball that Walter leads off of all the way, as that one didn't have a chance of dropping into the strike zone, and it runs the count full with runners on 2nd and 3rd here for the Pilots. It's a full count for Jake Walter. McKinnon ready to go with the payoff pitch, and he'll step off the mound as that right foot wiggled a little bit, and he steps off and will redo it. Here's the payoff pitch now for McKinnon. Swung on by Walter, and it's down to the shortstop, Mong, and he has to play over to first, and it brings in a run. And so Jake Walter does his job, and they're going to call that, they're going to say it was runner's interference. And so that's 2 outs, I believe. I'll try to figure out what's going on here, as Murphy came across to score, and it was DeSantolo who seemed to get in the way of that ball as Mong was trying to make a play on it. And I'm not sure if that's what the discussion is here. And the Diamond Dogs player's got to come back on the field now, as I'm just trying to figure out what happened here. And Walter was, they're going to say Walter was safe. So as we see it now, it was Jared DeSantolo who's called out at second for runner's interference, as he got in the way of that play that the shortstop, Alexis Mong Rodriguez, was trying to make down to first. And so Walter is safe at first, and Murphy remains on third. And so there's runners at the corners with 2 gone. And the Pilots don't get that run, so it still is 2-1. And it's Xavier Warren who comes to the plate now. And McKinnon takes a peek over at first to Walter. But no harm there, as we'll do it over. So a strange play there, as I don't know if DeSantolo could have done anything about that. But he's called out on runner's interference, as McKinnon misses with that one high. And so it's ball 1 to Xavier Warren. Warren was able to reach on a walk his last time up. Another peek over to Walter at first. And so the count remains 1-0 to Warren. One swung on and missed by Warren as McKinnon gets him with the heat. And so the count goes to 1-1. As McKinnon tries to get himself out of the inning with runners at the corners here. And 2 gone in the bottom of the 5th. Pilots leading 2-1 here at Colburn Park. McKinnon misses outside with this one, and it runs the count to 2-1 on Warren. We mentioned Xavier Warren hitting .283 on the year, with 15 hits and 53 at-bats coming into this game, making his team-leading 17th appearance of the year for the Pilots. Another swing and a miss from Warren, and it moves the count even at 2-2, and so there's all 2s across the board. And with runners at the corners, McKinnon trying to get himself out of the inning unscathed here and keep the score at 2-1. Strand another pair of runners for the Pilots. 2-2 count, up high, and it misses. So the count runs full on Xavier Warren here as McKinnon will have to throw a payoff pitch to get himself out of the inning, as he's in jeopardy of walking the bases loaded now. There's a payoff pitch from McKinnon. Runners are going as Walter gets to second, and it's a walk, and it walks the bases loaded. And another opportunity for Ricky Phillips, as he had the bases loaded his last time up and grounded out to end the inning. Pilots have stranded 6 runners so far in this game. And with an out here, it would strand another 3. And it's the second time in this game we've seen 2 outs and the bases loaded for the Pilots. And the second time we've seen Ricky Phillips at the plate for it. Xavier Warren walked for the second time in a row in this game as Phillips ducks out of the way of a breaking ball as it was well inside. And a 1-0 count now to Phillips. It's a 2-1 lead for the Pilots here in the bottom half of the 5th. McKinnon ready to go with the 1-0. Phillips holds off on it in the dirt, and the count goes to 2-0. Pilots looking to capture their 6th win of the year as they try to stay alive in that Western Division race. It's Geneva, Elmira, and Newark all chasing the Jamestown Jammers at 15-4. The Diamond Dogs, they try to pick up their 12th win of the year. Here's a 2-0. Phillips takes it all the way, and it misses inside, and it's a 3-0 count. McKinnon's got to be extra careful with the bases loaded. Another ball would walk in a run. For any pitcher, you have to assume you don't want to make it easy on any team to get runs, as what we've seen is a pretty contested defensive battle here in this one, with the score at 2-1. Here's the 3-0. As McKinnon will waste some time on the mound here trying to regather himself. And now he's ready to go with the 3-0. And it misses low. And ball 4 called by Connor McKenzie. Walks in a run as Alan Murphy comes across to score. And the Pilots take a 3-1 lead. Now with that one, I thought for sure McKenzie was going to give him the call there on the bottom half of the plate. And so I think Ricky Phillips thought the same thing. As an infielders conference here to talk things over. Discussion led there by Ryan Hernandez, the first baseman. A little pat on the back to Alex McKinnon. And so a run comes across his score on the walk to Ricky Phillips. 4 straight balls. It's a 3-1 Pilots lead now. Giovanni Torres, who is 0 for 2. He struck out his first time up. He comes to the plate with the bases loaded now, still 2 gone. This one in the dirt as McKinnon misses with another one. We'll see how long he lasts. If he can get himself out of the inning. Some action down in that Diamond Dogs bullpen. None in the bullpen of the Pilots, so you have to assume Trent Baker is coming back on the mound. But I've been wrong before, so we'll see. It's a 1-0 count to Torres. McKinnon slips off the mound there, and he's been displeased with that mound. He tries to find his gripping. He did get that one to fall him for a strike, however. And so it's a 1-1 count to the third baseman, Giovanni Torres, trying to open this game up. As Torres doesn't have any RBIs on the year to this point. It's a 1-1 count. McKinnon slips again. and misses with that one. A gesture to the mound asking McKenzie, was that one got to go further up? And he says yes. So it's a 2-1 count now to Torres. Bases are still loaded. McKinnon has just walked in a run to give the Pilots a 3-1 lead. Here's the 2-1. That one's well high. McKinnon, I think, has slipped on probably 4 consecutive pitches now. As it's another ball, and the count is 3-1. And McKinnon is in danger of walking in another run with Jake Walter over at third. Here's the 3-1. It misses low, and another run comes in to score. It's another walk from Alex McKinnon, and Jake Walter touches home plate, and the Pilots lead 4-1 now.
Now batting out of Georgetown, Texas. Number 2, center fielder, Parker Tadlock.
Just Alex McKinnon really hasn't looked comfortable on the mound ever since coming in. And another walk from him, and another run comes home to score. And the interesting part about this is it's just McKinnon doesn't seem to have his form on the mound as he's been slipping and sliding all over the place. And it looks like we are going to get a new pitcher here. And so Alex McKinnon's night is short-lived as he walks in a pair of runs, and the Pilots extend their lead to 4-1. We'll get a new pitcher for you when we come back. It's a 4-1 Pilots lead from Colburn Park. Pilots head to the top of the order as we welcome you back to Colburn Park. A pair of runs have been walked in here with the bases loaded and 2 gone. Alex McKinnon exits the game. It's a 4-1 Pilots lead over the Diamond Dogs now. It's the right-hander John Hardy from Clinton, New York. He plays at Mohawk Valley Community College, so around the area where the Diamond Dogs play. He comes on the mound. Tadlock chops one up to center. The play over to second, and just like that, the inning is over. The Pilots strand 3, but get 2, and they lead 4-1 as we head to the top of the 6th here at Colburn Park. We welcome you back in here to Colburn Park. It's a 4-1 Pilots lead as we kick things off here in the top of the sixth. It's Ryan Tours who lead things off for the Diamondbacks, and the right-hander Trent Baker is set to pitch his sixth inning of work. He's given up 4 hits and 1 earned run to this point. And as we mentioned, in line for the win. Tours, who had an RBI in his last plate appearance, is 1 for 2 on the evening as he takes a big cut at that one. And so the count goes to 1-1. Baker misses with this one low, and so the count goes to 2-1. Two one from Baker misses high, and so the count goes to 3-1 on Ryan Tours. Tours, who plays at Villanova, has been stout at the plate this year. His 26 RBI, as Baker tosses in that one for a strike, and so the count goes full here as Tours is the leadoff man. Tours led Villanova in batting average at .298 and appeared in 48 games. And a swing and a miss, and Baker able to strike out the leadoff man. Here in the top of the sixth for Tours, he had 31 RBIs and 53 hits. So he carries over that strong season that he had with Villanova here with Mohawk Valley, but he strikes out. And so there's one gone now here in the top of the sixth. Jake Barbiere comes back to the plate. He's 0 for 2, the third baseman for the Diamond Dogs. Baker can't get this one to touch the lower half of the plate, and so it's 2 balls and no strikes to Barbiere. For Baker, his 4th K of the evening, as he gets that one to fall in for a strike and a 2-1 count now. As we play on here in the top of the sixth, a Pilots lead at 4-1, and there's one gone. Barbiere smacks one down the third baseline, but foul. So the count goes to 2-2. Barbiere from Randolph, New Jersey, plays at Ryder, along with the catcher for the Pilots, Liam Harding, who's not in action tonight. A 2-2 count, off speeder, fought off by Barbiere. And he stays alive and keeps the count at 2-2. Barbiere hitting .209 on the year, has 9 hits and 43 at-bats coming into tonight's game. Baker ready to go with another 2-2. Gets that one to catch the outside corner, back-to-back strikeouts, and 2 retired now here in the top of the sixth. Barbiere could not believe that one as Connor McKenzie calls strike 3. And it's the 5th strikeout of the evening now. So Barbiere now 0 for 3 on the evening. And a new hitter here for the Diamond Dogs in replacement of Mike Young. We try to figure out what his name is. As Baker misses with that one low, and so it's ball 1. A 1-0 count here with 2 gone. This one swung on and chopped foul. So the count goes to 1-1. One misses inside from Baker, and so the count goes to 2-1. So there's 2 gone here in the top of the 6th. Pilots lead this one 4-1. Trent Baker making his 6th inning of work count here. He's been strong. He misses with this one low, though. It's a hitter's count now at 3-1. It's Mark McConnell who's at the plate now as he takes over Mike McKenna. A 3-1 count. One inside as McKenna looks at it, and it pushes the count full. Mark McKenna must have left his jersey at home because he's number 26, but he's wearing 36 tonight. Plays at Canisius from Grand Island, New York. The payoff pitch is swung on and fouled off here by McKenna. Strikeout his last time up before exiting the ball game for Mohawk Valley.
Yeah, I typed in 26 and it's got it.
With 2 gone, it's a full count for McKenna as Baker's ready to go with the payoff. And it misses outside, and so it's a 2-out walk as McKenna looks at it and gets the free pass down to first.
Now batting out of Canajoharie, New York, number 22, catcher, Drew Farino.
It's the catcher, Drew Farino, who comes back to the plate now after the 2-out walk. And a visit here as there's action in that Pilots bullpen. And Trent Baker will try to finish off the 6th inning of work, which will probably be his last. He's only given up 1 earned run in this game and is a 4-1 lead. Farino was walked his first time up and grounded out his second. And he's 0 for 1 in the evening. Baker can't get the breaking ball to fall in, and so it's ball 1 to Farino. After the 2-out walk, allowed the pinch hitter McKenna to reach after taking over for the left fielder Mike Young here in the top of the 6th. Baker misses with a fastball inside as it's Ryan Wynn warming up in the bullpen for the Pilots. 2-0 count now to Farino as Baker in search of the final out of the inning. Fastball gets that one to fall in as Farino laid off of it. Didn't really like that one, but it falls in for strike 1. And so the count goes to 2-1. The catcher from Canajoharie, New York. This one swung on by Farino. And so the count goes to 2-2 as Baker looks for a big out 3 to end the inning and preserve that 4-1 Pilots lead here in the top of the 6th. Baker ready to go with the 2-2. Runner going, and it's fouled off by Farino as McKenna was taken off for second. And he'll jog it back to first as there's all 2s across the board here for the catcher, Drew Farino. Baker ready to go with another 2-2. Pitch swung on down to the shortstop, Warren. The toss over to second, and that'll do it. And so 6 strong innings of work for Trent Baker. And it's a 4-1 lead as the Pilots come back up to bat when we head to the bottom of the 6th here at Colburn Park.
Alabama. Number 3, designated hitter, Matt Serfolio.
Dan Cooter here on Newark Pilots TV. We welcome you back into Colburn Park. It's a 4-1 Pilots lead and a new pitcher for the Diamond Dogs as John Hardy made his one pitch and got the out he needed to end the inning in the bottom half of the 5th. And so it's Tim Geisel, the lefty, who plays at St. John Fisher College. The first left-hander we've seen for either side in tonight's contest. Coming on the mound now to pitch for Mohawk Valley, Geisel making his 5th appearance of the year. He started 1 and has come in relief in 3 of them and has pitched 10 2/3 innings. As Matt Serfolio, the DH, pops one up on the first pitch he sees. The first baseman, Hernandez, is there to make the play, and there's quickly 1 gone here in the bottom of the 6th.
Now batting out of Richburg, New York, number 10, left fielder, Alan Murphy.
Geisel, 6 earned runs on 9 hits for him this year with the Diamond Dogs. There's walked 7 and 7 strikeouts as well. Alan Murphy, he's seen Geisel before. They play on the same team, and he smacks one up to center. A tough play here. Derek Jeter-like and off the base as Murphy is safe. Tough play for J.D. Davis there at second. And the throw is off the bag as Hernandez able to get in front of it, or else Murphy would have been into second. So it's an infield single for Alan Murphy.
Jackson, New Jersey, number 16, catcher, Ty
as he picks up his 2nd hit of the evening. Once again, another strong night at the plate for Alan Murphy, and it brings up Ty Babin with 1 gone. There's 1 on now for the Pilots as they try to extend that 4-1 lead. They got 2 in the bottom half of the 3rd and 2 more just a couple minutes ago in the bottom half of the 5th. And they lead 4-1 in this one. It's the 7th hit of the evening for the Pilots, 4 for the Diamond Dogs. Geisel gets a call for McKenzie on the outside corner, so it's strike 1 to Ty Babin, the catcher tonight for the Pilots. 0-1 count to Babin after the infield single for Alan Murphy has him on first with 1 gone here in the bottom half of the 6th. A peek over to first from Geisel. Checking over on his college teammate Alan Murphy, both of them playing at St. John Fisher College. Geisel in 2018 made 10 appearances with St. John Fisher College as a freshman. Had 8 starts and finished with a 4-1 record, a 4.81 ERA. An off-speeder from Geisel doesn't find the strike zone, and so the count goes to 1-1. Geisel tossed 39 1/3 innings and compiled 27 strikeouts and had a season-high 8 and a win against Husson. 1-1 count now for Babin. He holds off on 1. That falls in for a strike, and so he's behind in the count 1-2. Babin steps back in and is ready for the 1-2 pitch from Geisel, with Murphy over on first and 1 gone. From the stretch, that one in the dirt, and it's going to be a wild pitch, and Murphy easily into second. And so the runner moves into scoring position as the count goes to 2-2. That one just came off the hand wrong from Tim Geisel. And Murphy is into second, and the count goes to 2-2. Geisel from Scotch Plains, New Jersey. Stands at 6'3", 160 on the mound. As we mentioned, the first left-hander we've seen from either side here tonight. Geisel ready to go with the 2-2 after the wild pitch. Advanced the runner to second. Geisel steps off as he didn't feel comfortable with that. And so we'll do it all over again. Ty Babin steps back in and is ready to go with the 2-2 offering here from Geisel. Holds off on one just high. McKenzie calls it ball 3. And it's a full count now. As we play on here in the bottom of the 6th, a 4-1 lead for the Pilots, trying to tack on a couple more. The payoff pitch from Geisel. Swung on and missed by Babin, and a big strikeout for Tim Geisel to retire the second out of the inning and bring Jared DeSantolo back to the plate.
On the Tampa Bay, Florida, number 31, second baseman, Jared DeSantolo.
Second time in a row, Ty Babin has gone down on strikes, and it brings up Jared DeSantolo, who is 1 for 3, had a double his last time up. He's got Alan Murphy over on second with 2 gone here in the bottom of the 6th now. Breaking ball taken all the way by DeSantolo. Falls in for strike 1. Night upon us here at Colburn Park. Beautiful evening for some baseball. First one we've seen last Friday. Pilots won out by Geneva 17-4, the most Pilots have given up this year by far. And much different in this game than we saw when these two teams went over Colburn Park back in the home opener Pilots. A 9-7 win for Mohawk Valley. It's a 1-1 count to DeSantolo. This one in the dirt. Reno keeps it in front of him. It's 2 balls and 1 strike now. It's been a tough go for all the teams in the Perfect Game League as Mother Nature has prevailed the last 2 nights. The game already canceled between the Pioneers and the Dutchmen earlier tonight. DeSantolo holds off on another one in the dirt, and the count goes to 3-1 on him now. Now, what the case is with a lot of these teams, especially with the game that we saw on Saturday that was supposed to take place between the Trailblazers and the Pilots, that one doesn't get rescheduled, and so both teams lose the game. And that was the case with the Pioneers and the Dutchmen, with those 2 teams not being in the same division, not a chance for a doubleheader. So the game doesn't get rescheduled. DeSantolo looks at one on the outside corner, and so the count runs full. A big pitch here for Geisel to try and get out of the inning. Keep the score at 4-1 as the Diamond Dogs trail the Pilots here. Murphy is still over at second after he reached on the infield single. There's the payoff pitch from Geisel. Swung on and fouled by DeSantolo as he's able to stay alive. And they'll do it all over again. Mohawk Valley will return home tomorrow night when they take on the Utica Blue Sox. 6:45 start time from Veterans Memorial Park. The 3-2 here for Geisel. Held off by DeSantolo, and it's high for ball 4. And so 2-out walk sends him down to first and brings Jake Walter back to the plate.
New York, number 9, first baseman, Jake Walter.
Walter trying to get his first hit of the evening as he's 0 for 2. Was able to reach on a walk his second plate appearance, but struck out his first. So there's runners at first and second with 2 gone now here in the bottom of the 6th as Geisel makes his job just a little bit harder as he tosses in ball 1 to Walter. Walter, as we mentioned, he's been strong at the plate after making a late trip to Newark after his season concluded. Has 6 RBIs on 17 plate appearances coming into tonight. He checks his swing but fouls this one off. It jolts our camera a little bit, but all is good. And so with that check swing on the foul ball, the count goes to 1-1 on Walter. As Geisel waits for the signal from catcher Farino. 1-1 in the dirt, as it was an off-speed pitch that never had a chance. As Walter looked at it all the way, and so the count goes to 2-1. As we play on in the night sky now here in the bottom of the 6th. A 4-1 Pilots lead. 2-1 offering now. Walter takes it, and it's high for ball 3, and he gets himself a hitter's count. Good chance for Jake Walter now, as it's 3-1. Murphy over on second. Geisel a peek over to Murphy, and now the delivery. Held off, and it's another ball. So back-to-back walks from Tim Geisel. Walks the bases loaded. The 3rd time tonight the Pilots have had the bases loaded with 2 outs. And the last time we saw this was in the bottom of the 5th when Alex McKinnon walked back-to-back batters in to extend that Pilots lead to 2, but they've stranded 9 runners in this game so far. And Xavier Warren would hate to see this chance go, as he was walked his last time up and brought a run in. He's been walked back-to-back plate appearances. He's ready to go. He smacks one in the left, and it's caught by Monge. And so that ends the inning. Pilots, for the 3rd time in this game, strand the bases loaded, and they still lead 4-1 as we head to the top of the 7th here at Colburn Park. We head to the top of the 7th here at Colburn Park as I'm Dan Cooter here on Newark Pilots TV. A new pitcher for the Pilots is the right-hander Ryan Wynn. Is taken over for Trent Baker, who had a strong outing. As he goes 6 strong, gives up 4 hits and 1 earned run. And he leaves in line to get the victory as the Pilots lead 4-1. Ryan Wynn from Webster, New York, plays at Bowdoin College. Comes in relief as he gets a swing and a miss from Bruno, and he's quickly ahead 0-2. Wynn with the 0-2 now. Swung on by Bruno. It's in the dirt, and he'll run down to first as Babin has to retrieve it, but the play is in time, and the leadoff man is retired as Wynn makes quick work of Tyler Bruno. You're in the top of the 7th.
Out of Goose Creek, South Carolina, number 19, second baseman, J.D. Davis.
Ryan Wynn, he's been one of the best relief men, probably the best reliever by far here for this Pilots squad, as he started one game and has come in relief 4 times. He's pitched 10 2/3 innings, has a .84 ERA. He's only allowed 1 earned run on 11 hits. He's got that side armor slider pitch that he likes to go to as he misses with that one in the dirt. And the count goes to 2-0. Bottom of the order here for the Diamond Dogs. It's J.D. Davis in front of this one as he gets a piece of it and fouls it right into the mitt of Ty Babin. So the count goes to 2-1. Davis 0 for 2 as he struck out his last time up. Wynn gets that one to fall on the inside part of the plate, and so the count goes to 2-2. Ryan Wynn had 14 strikeouts coming in tonight. So with that strikeout to Tyler Bruno, it's his 15th. He looks for another one here. 2-2 pitch. Off speeder in the dirt once again, and he gets Davis to swing at that one, and quick work once again. Another strikeout for Wynn, and there's 2 gone now here in the top of the 7th.
Playing for New York, number 24, center fielder, John Mohawk.
It's what you like to see from the relief man, Ryan Wynn, as he tosses in a couple of off speeders and gets Davis and Bruno swinging in the dirt. And it's 2 quick strikeouts here in the top of the 7th. And the Diamond Dogs bats have been quite cold in this one. So you have 4 hits to their names, and their only run coming way back in the top of the 3rd on a Ryan Tours shot to center that brought Alexis Mons Rodriguez home to score. They haven't been able to tack anything on since, and they trail 4-1 as they're running out of outs in this one. They head to the top of the order now as it's LaRocca. He's 1 for 3, had a hit his last time up. His Wynn looks for the final out of the inning. It's a 1-1 count to LaRocca. Swung on. Wynn can't get it. The shortstop Warren's going to have a tough play over to first, and he's able to make it. A 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Wynn. And the Pilots keep their 4-1 lead as we stretch it out here at Colburn Park. We'll be right back on Newark Pilots TV.
above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, I could fall. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Picture. Show me picture. Have a picture. Picture. 34. Good picture. Good picture, yeah. 34.
Gotta be. Is it Joe DeSaro? He's the only guy without a number. Joe DeSaro. I don't know if that's him though.
Now batting out of Reynoldsburg, Ohio, number 19, right fielder, Rick Phillips.
Ricky Phillips leads things off here as we head to the bottom of the 7th. It's a 4-1 Pilots lead. And a new pitcher for the Diamond Dogs once again as it's Joe DeSaro coming on the mound. Joe DeSaro from Frankfort, New York. And he'll take over and try to give the Diamond Dogs a chance to get back in this game. And we've seen the Pilots leave 9 stranded runners here in this game tonight. And so they've given Mohawk Valley a chance to climb back into this game as it's Ricky Phillips leading things off. Phillips 1 for 2 as he was able to reach on balls his last time up, and that brought home a run. Part of that 5th inning where 2 runs came across to score after Alex McKinnon walked the bases loaded and then walked in a pair of runs. Phillips looks at one low, and so it's a 1-1 count. It's a breaking ball here. Phillips holds off of it, and it's in the dirt. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike to the Reynoldsburg, Ohio native, Ricky Phillips. This one swung at by Phillips and goes foul, and so the count runs even at 2-2. As Joe DeSaro makes his 3rd appearance of the year. He's only pitched 2 innings, but has only given up 1 hit and no earned runs. He tries to keep the scorecard clean. Here in the bottom of the 7th, Phillips the leadoff man, 2-2, swung to the left. Oh, a diving play by Barbieri. Can he make the play to first? Yes, he can. That's a web gem from Jake Barbieri as he gets out number 1, a hard out. as Ricky Phillips is retired to lead off the bottom of the 7th.
Giovanni Torres.
Jake Barbieri with a nice play down there at third base, as Joe DeSaro gets him help for the leadoff man. Phillips is retired, so Giovanni Torres comes back to the plate. He was walked his last time up. He gets his first look at DeSaro as a breaking ball drops in there for strike 1. Torres sends one in the left and right in between the shortstop and the third baseman, and he is aboard here with 1 gone in the bottom of the 7th.
Now batting out of Georgetown, Texas, number 2, center fielder, Parker Tadlock.
Pilots head to the top of the order after the base hit from Torres, and that was a good one as he got around on that one, saw it all the way, and smacked it in the left. And gets himself a base hit here with 1 gone in the bottom of the 7th. Pilots lead 4-1 still. And I'm sure they would love some insurance, as the Diamond Dogs have 6 outs left to try and come back in this one. So DeSaro has to watch Torres over at first, as Tadlock shows bunt, but able to get out of the way of that one for ball 1. Tadlock, after leading off the game with a single, has gone cold since, as he's 1 for 4. As the Pilots make their 5th trip through the order. To show you how cold those Diamond Dogs bats have been, they are just making their 4th trip through the order, so the Pilots will whole batting order ahead of them, as Tadlock fouls this one off, the 1-0 into the dugout of the Pilots, and it'll go over into the stands. And so it's a 1-1 count to Tadlock now, as after that strong 1-2-3 inning from Ryan Wynn, there is some action in that bullpen, as Matt Walczak is gingerly warming up. But I would assume that Ryan Wynn would be returning to the mound, as that was a strong inning of work, a quick inning of work too. As DeRosa tries to take care of business on the mound here for Mohawk Valley. 1-1 count to Tadlock now, as Torres is on first. Tadlock holds off on one in on the hands. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike. As we mentioned, Pilots home here again at Colburn Park tomorrow when the Jamestown Jammers come to town. And then they'll be on the road Saturday before coming home for a Sunday contest, which will start at 5:05. DeRosa checks over on first to Torres. Ryan Hernandez is always good to try and get you on the sneaky play, as he double taps you there after the throw down. Seen that pretty much every time from Hernandez. It's still a 2-1 count here to Tadlock. DeRosa with a delivery now. Breaking ball misses low, and so the count goes to 3-1 on Tadlock. For Mohawk Valley, as we mentioned at the top, the defending perfect game champions after defeating Jamestown in 3 games to win the playoffs last year. Looking to repeat. They're looking for their 12th win of the year. Tadlock called time before DeRosa tossed that one down. DeRosa not pleased with that, but we'll redo it as the count remains 3-1. And now, a couple of words from the Diamond Dogs dugout. Connor McKenzie lets him know to keep it shut. And now we're ready to go with the 3-1 after that little bit of commotion. The check over to first Again, Torres is back in plenty of time after he was able to pick up the base hit with one gone. Still waiting on the 3-1 here for Tadlock. And now here it comes. It's high, and DeRosa misses. And Tadlock is walked here, and so there's runners on first and second as Torres moves into scoring position.
Now batting out of Indian Springs, Alabama. Number 3, designated hitter, Matt Serfolio.
Matt Serfolio, who is 1 for 4 on the night, has come across to score once for the Pilots, comes back up the bat. Good chance here for the Pilots to cushion that lead. It's at 4-1 right now. But more runs the merrier here for Newark as they look to pick up their 6th win of the year. DeRosa misses with this one outside. Some reassurance there from the catcher, Farino. He's the pitcher's best friend. Just a 1-0 count here to Serfolio. Breaking ball catches the outside corner, as that's what DeRosa has been looking for. Those last couple of pitchers. Serfolio readjusts the helmet. For DeRosa, from my vantage point, seems like he's got a pretty good slider there, but just hasn't been able to get some of them to catch the outside part of the plate. That one did, though, and so the count is at 1-1. Still one gone. This one swung on by Serfolio and missed. And so he's behind in the count 1-2. We saw him pop up his first pitch he saw last time, so just trying to extend this at bat a little bit more is Serfolio. But he's going to have to fight some pitches off as he's down to the count 1-2. DeRosa looks to get the second out of the inning here with runners on first and second for the Pilots. DeRosa peek over to second, and now the delivery. Breaking ball misses outside, and so the count goes even at 2-2 to Matt Serfolio. Batting in the DH spot tonight for Newark. In that second spot, Alan Murphy on deck, and once again, he's been hot at the plate as he has an RBI and is 2 for 3 on the evening. Two-two count here. Breaking ball misses outside. DeRosa thought he had it, but he doesn't get the call for McKenzie, and the count runs full. DeRosa in danger of walking the bases loaded, and that's been the theme tonight for the Pilots. They've had the bases loaded 3 times in this game, and they've stranded all 9 runners. Full count here. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed by Serfolio. A big strikeout for DeRosa. And there's 2 gone now here in the bottom half of the 7th.
Out of Richford, New York, number 10, left fielder, Alan Murphy.
And it brings up Alan Murphy to the plate. He picked up his team-leading 15th RBI of the year. He looks to add to it here as there's 2 gone. Torres is in scoring position there for the Pilots. Murphy holds off on this one, but he does go around, and so it's strike 1. Murphy, we've seen him in a bunch of roles. The DH, he's out there in right field tonight. We've seen him on the mound for the Pilots as well. And he can swing the bat. He's proven that. It's an 0-1 count to him. Breaking ball misses from DeRosa. So the count is at 1-1 to Murphy now. Murphy, he's gone yard 3 times this year as well. That also leads the team. As Jake Walter also has 2 home runs this year for the Pilots. Drosa ready to go with the 1-1. Swung on by Murphy, deep into left, back into the sky. It goes off the wall, and it brings home another run to score. Here comes Tadlock chugging for home. He's going to be in there. Alan Murphy, another night for him. A pair of RBIs, 3 on the evening. Pilots extend their lead to 6-1, and you have to be impressed with what this kid has done at the plate, as he picks up another pair of RBIs. And a round of applause for Alan Murphy.
Now batting.
As it's a 6-1 Pilots lead now.
Catcher, Ty Babin.
So Murphy's over on second after the RBI double brings in 2 more runs for the Pilots, and Ty Babin comes to the plate. And that's exactly what the Pilots had needed. Just a little bit more of a cushion. I know 4-1 is a good lead, but 6-1 is a lot better. And they have a 5-run lead now here in the bottom of the 7th. There's still 2 gone, and Babin sends one high into the night sky, underneath it to make the catch for out number 3. Alan Murphy tacks on another pair of RBIs, and the Pilots extend their lead to 6-1. Diamond Dogs down to their final 6 outs as we head to the top of the 8th when we come back to Colburn Park. As expected, Ryan Wynn back on the mound for the Pilots, his 2nd inning of work. He tosses in the sidearm slider for ball 1 to Alexis Monge, the shortstop for the Diamond Dogs. Monge 1 for 2 on the evening, had a hit his first time up as he fouls this one right into the backstop. And so the count goes to 1-1. Pilots extend their lead as Murphy picks up another pair of RBIs as he has 3 on the evening. And the Pilots lead 6-1. Pilots with 9 hits in tonight's game. Diamond Dogs with only 4. Only 1 error in this game as it was charged to the Diamond Dogs. A 2-1 count. Monge shows bunt on this one. That gets the attention of Torres, the speedy third baseman from North Haven, Connecticut. ready to pounce on that one if it makes its way to him. A 3-1 count now for Monge to lead us off here in the top of the 8th. Swing and a miss for Monge. Good pitch there from Ryan Wynn, and it moves the count full. As Alexis Monge Rodriguez plays at Barry from Pembroke Pines, Florida, leads us off in the top of the 8th, trying to get aboard and start a comeback here for Mohawk Valley. This one fouled back into the backstop once again, so it keeps the count full. Ryan Wynn, as we mentioned, he's been probably the strongest relief pitcher for the Pilots this year. It's an off-speeder, falls in there, and Monge looks at strike 3. And the leadoff man is retired as Monge looks at a breaking ball from Ryan Wynn that falls in. And it brings Ryan Hernandez to the plate. The big man, as we've featured here in this game, was having a strong hitting campaign for the Diamond Dogs coming in tonight, but he's been stymied in this one as he takes a big cut and misses at that one, as he's 0 for 3 in the evening as he flew out his last time up. So Wynn would just love to retire him back in order and get to the bottom of the order here for Mohawk Valley when they go to the 9th. It's a 0-2 count now to Hernandez. That camera just gets skewed a little bit by another foul ball, but it's 0-2 to Hernandez with 1 gone here at the top of the 8th. The 0-2 fouled off once again. Hernandez is giving the backstop a good work here. So he fouls off another one, stays alive. This one swung on by Hernandez into center, and he's got himself a base hit.
Now batting out of Florham Park, New Jersey.
Good at bat there for Ryan Hernandez. He was down 0-2 there. That whole at bat fought off a couple of pitches and then smacked one into center. And so a 1-out base hit. Exactly what the Diamond Dogs needed here in the top of the 8th. First hit Ryan Wynn has given up of the evening since coming on in relief of Trent Baker. Brings the hard-hitting Ryan Tours back to the plate. He struck out his last time up. Has the only RBI this game, which brought home the only run of the game for Mohawk Valley. Wynn tosses in 2 straight balls. Yeah. As Wynn checks up on Hernandez there. And as the Pilots, they've been in control pretty much this whole game, even though they went down 1-0. They've scored 2 runs in the 3rd, 5th, and 7th innings. And that gives them a 6-1 lead here. As we play on with 1 gone here in the top of the 8th. Hernandez is at first after the 1-out single, and a 3-0 count here to Tours as Wynn looks to find the strike zone. Tours a big cut on the 3-0. And so the count goes to 3-1 as Ryan Tours takes a little bit of a chance there. No problem with that. With the team down 5, going on the 3-0. Throw over to first from Wynn as Walter had to come off the bag to keep that one in front of him. So a hitter's count here for Ryan Tours as he tries to deliver on the 3-1 count. Swung on and missed again by Tours, and so the count runs full as Ryan Wynn gets Ryan Tours swinging at air there, back-to-back pitches. Wynn Almost ready to go with the payoff pitch, but McKenzie calls time, and so we'll reset here as Wynn was taking a hard look over his left shoulder down to first at Ryan Hernandez. Tours hits one of the second baseman, DeSantolo. They could turn two here. The throw down to first. They get him. A beautiful double play, and just like that, the inning is over. So Ryan Wynn retires the side, and we hit at the bottom of the eighth, and the Pilots keep their 6-1 lead, as we'll be right back here at Colburn Park. We welcome you back to Colburn Park. I'm Dan Cooter here on Newark Pilots TV. It's the Pilots up in this one 6-1 as we head to the bottom of the eighth. And a new pitcher once again for the Dawgs. It's the right-hander Ryan Tours, who we just saw grounded that double play. He was the designated hitter tonight for Mohawk Valley, and he takes over on the mound now. Tours making his third appearance of the year on the mound for the Diamond Dogs. Has pitched 2 innings of work and has given up 2 earned runs on 4 hits. So we'll see how he fares after he went 1 for 4 at the plate and had the only RBI of the night for Mohawk Valley. That long sweeping motion that he has when misses in the dirt. And so it's ball 1 to Jared DeSantolo, the second baseman, who was able to turn that double play just moments ago. 1 for 3 on the evening, was walked his last time up. Swings on this one and fouls it off. So it moves the count to 1-1. It'll be the 5, 6, 7 hitters for Mohawk Valley when we head to the top of the 9th. Their last gasp for them, as it will be down to the last 3 outs. And if Tours can keep it at a 5-run margin, it'll be at least 5 that they'll have to get as they trail 6-1. And their bats have been pretty cold in this one. Only 5 hits to their name and only 1 run. It's a 1-1 count to DeSantolo. Fouled off once again, and so Tours gets ahead of the count 1-2. DeSantolo, the leadoff man here in the bottom half of the eighth, as Tours looks to record the first out of the inning. Doesn't like the signal he got there from Farino, and so he'll step off and we'll reset. And now Tours is ready to go with the 1-2. Another foul ball by DeSantolo as he stays alive and keeps the count at 1-2. Another 1-2 offering here. Breaking ball well outside as Tours misses with that one. So the count squares up at 2. So with the count even at 2-2, Tours is ready to go once again to DeSantolo. Breaking ball is in there as DeSantolo looks at strike 3. And so Ryan Tours gets a strikeout on the leadoff man here in the bottom half of the eighth. Ryan Tours, his 4th strikeout of the season. We've seen plenty of pitchers here tonight as Tyler Schaff started the game for the Diamond Dogs. Saw Alex McKinnon come in. He struggled as he walked in a pair of runs when the bases were loaded for the Pilots and extended the lead to 4-1. And then we saw Hardy come into the game. Only 1 pitch for him, but he was able to retire for the final out and get Mohawk Valley out of the inning. And then it was Tim Geisel who came in the game, followed by DeCero, and now Ryan Tours. And so Mohawk Valley has gone to the bullpen for plenty of pitching in this one for the Pilots. It's been Trent Baker and Ryan Wynn. They've handled the duties, and they've done them well here. It's a 6-1 lead for the Pilots. Jake Walter looks at a strike there, a little grin to counter McKenzie, as he's behind in the count 1-2 with 1 gone here in the bottom of the 8th now. 1-2 misses outside as Walter is able to hold off. And the count goes to 2-2. Walter 0 for 2 on the evening with a pair of walks to his name, as he was able to reach on a walk his last time up. He can't hold off on that one in the dirt. A little shake of the head from Walter, and he's retired for the 2nd out of the inning. It's back-to-back strikeouts for Ryan Tours now. And there's 2 gone as Xavier Warren comes back to the plate. Warren, just like Walter, has been able to reach on a pair of walks tonight as he's 0 for 2. Big swing and a miss from Walter there, and so he's quickly behind Warren. Quickly behind the count, 0-1. Caught that one as soon as I heard it. Yes, it's an 0-1 count now to Warren. This one misses low, and so the count will go to 1-1. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Pretty big crowd for Newark Pilots TV tonight. We'll be right back at it again here against Jamestown tomorrow night as Warren sends one opposite field. Tracking it is McKenna, and he's able to make the catch. And so it's a 1-2-3 inning for Tours. Diamond Dogs going to have to put on the rally caps. They're down 6-1 as we head to the top of the 9th. We'll be right back. We head to the top of the ninth here at Colburn Park as the home side Newark Pilots lead the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs 6-1. As Mohawk Valley has only tallied 5 hits in this game. Pilots with 9, and that's the left-hander Matt Walczak who comes on to try and close out this game and earn the Pilots their 6th win of the year. With the loss, Mohawk Valley would fall to 11-8 on the year. Walczak tosses in a strike, and so it's a 1-1 count to Barbiere. He hits this one deep into left. Phillips and Tadlock meet, and Tadlock is able to get underneath it for the first out. So a deep fly ball there by Jake Barbiere, but Parker Tadlock is able to track it down, and the leadoff man is retired here for Matt Walczak in the top of the ninth.
Now batting out of Grand Island, New York, number 36, left fielder, Mark McKenna.
And with 2 outs to go in this one, the Pilots trying to key in on what would be a crucial win for them, as they could get all the wins that they need here. As we mentioned, they're at 5-12 on the year. And especially against an opponent such as Mohawk Valley, who has shown consistency, especially after winning here. Torres is going to try and get the foul ball, and he's going to get it. And so McKenna is retired, and the Diamond Dogs are down to their final out, as Walczak tries to go for the 1-2-3 inning and end this game on a high note. And the Pilots, they get to take on another great team tomorrow when the Jammers come to town. 15-4 of the Jammers coming in tonight. And so it's no easy task for the Pilots, but as I just said, just a great game all around here. No errors for the Pilots. They've only given up 5 hits and 1 earned run. And Farino sends one into left. Phillips is tracking, and he makes the catch, and that'll do it. A great win for the Newark Pilots here tonight as they take this one 6-1. Hugs all around, and it's the 6th win of the year for the Pilots. Trent Baker picks up the win on the mound for Newark, as Ryan Wynn and Matt Walczak pitch strong games as well. And that'll do it. As mentioned, the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs fall to 11-8 in this one. Pilots move up to 6-12 as we thank you all for tuning in. Once again, the Pilots pick up the win 6-1 here at Colburn Park. We'll be right back again as the Jamestown Jammers come to town tomorrow for a 7:05 first pitch. As I'm Dan Cooter saying so long from Colburn Park.